Like I need a box to stand on.
Sorry. We're good. Okay, so welcome to UC Today. My name's David Dungay. We are here reporting live from ISC in the sunny Barcelona and with Brian Solis from ServiceNow. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, this is incredible.
Well, look, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to talk to you. You are almost fresh off stage today with your big keynote talking about agentic AI and how businesses can really prepare themselves for this kind of next wave of AI and how they can utilize it to its maximum potential, right? Maybe you could give us a little bit of a rundown on that keynote, and we can talk a little bit about AI and what you're doing there.
Absolutely. I walked the audience through the phases of AI. So let's just think about generative AI, then moving to this world of automation. But then I also introduced the concept of augmentation, which was, if we think automation is how you use artificial intelligence to do what you did yesterday better, faster, cheaper, more efficiently today, augmentation would be using AI to do the things you couldn't do yesterday or didn't even know to think about that you could do yesterday to change tomorrow. And the combination of those together creates this relationship between iteration, doing the same things better, and innovation, which is creating new value. And the point I wanted to get across is that you need both. And the balance between both can create a positive type of disruption, which I described as doing new things that make the old things obsolete. And as long as you're iterating and innovating, automating and augmenting, what you're doing is you're creating disruption that is positive to you, rather than waiting for disruption to be a gift given to you by someone else.
Yeah, it's an interesting word, that iteration. I mean, I always find with AI, we've gone from AI to generative AI, and now we're all looking at AI agents as the kind of the next wave, and agentic AI, and that is that's not just an iteration in my mind. Some of these are quantum leaps in technology.
Absolutely.
This is a market that's moving quickly. I mean, from a business perspective, and then you talk to a lot of businesses day in, day out, how can they really prepare themselves to maximize this opportunity they have now with agentic AI and generative AI?
Absolutely. The biggest challenge is sort of still explaining what these things are and what they aren't. So generative AI and then agentic AI, or AI agents and then to agentic AI. And helping leaders understand the context of the decisions they're trying to make, the investments that they're trying to make, and how they're measuring value. So there's a bit of a conversation that has to happen just to get everyone on the same page. So in many cases, iteration looks a lot like innovation, and so they get confused. So what we do is we look at the processes, we look at the desired outcomes, and we work with them to make sure that those are the best processes to get to those types of outcomes. Because if you think about the previous generation of change, that was digital transformation, and there was little transformation happening, but a whole lot of digitization. Not a bad thing, but companies were just digitizing the processes that we're now trying to automate. What we also then do is explore, now, what are some of the bigger business goals or the business objectives that you have? Where is the industry going? So that we can then help them understand what net new processes need to exist. Could we create that as a workflow, or could we create that as an agentic workflow where AI agents go to work to then help bring about that outcome? And so those conversations become fascinating because what you're doing is you're unlocking someone's imagination. You're helping them see what they didn't even know to see or couldn't see before, and then they can't unsee it. And that is where the future of business transformation comes in. What we're doing is we're transforming the organization with agents, with AI at the center of everything, to bring the company closer together, to connect the dots, so that way all of the data that's all over the organization can work for that company in a way that AI can take advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, so it's so important to get your foundations right as a business with AI, right? It's that data, those processes you mentioned. I still feel a lot of businesses struggle to make that leap. If you don't have that foundation right, you're going to run into some problems down the road. I mean, are you finding that?
We're finding the business transformation story a necessary one. because without it, companies will just kind of do what they've always done with technology, and that is the iterative part, the automation part. Just take business as usual, make it more efficient. And again, that's something we need to do. We need to take costs out. We do need to free up resources. But the goal is then, how do we free up resources to achieve net new types of outcomes? And once you start moving in that direction, you're starting to have more strategic conversations about designing your business for the future. Now, what does the business of 2030 look like? You're probably going to get very few answers, because most people aren't thinking like a futurist. Let's scenario plan for what those potential outcomes or existing states might be. But our job is to help them get there. Our job is to help them make the future tangible, to make it something that we're working towards, because we all agree that this is a future vision of what will benefit the business and all shareholders and stakeholders.
I think tangible is a really important word there. This week, well, today I should say, we're on day one. Already I'm seeing use cases for GenAI that fix real world problems, from reporting to scheduling to all sorts of things. This isn't hype anymore. This is here and it's now, right?
That's right. One of the questions after my keynote, we had a panel conversation, and it was hosted by Josephine Watson from Tech Radar, and she said something really, really interesting that I won't forget, which was, how should the people in the room think about the future? And I almost went into this whole future scenario. I'm always thinking about the future. But then I realized, David, the future's here right now.
Yeah.
Just walk around this show floor. The future's already here. What are you going to do differently with what you have available today so that you can train yourself to start thinking exponentially for the future?
Yeah. I think that's a really great place to end our discussion on. Brian, thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of IC.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on UC Today.